Sales is just a numbers game. You've heard that one before, right? Let me let you in on a little secret. It's only a numbers game if you need a lot of meetings to close a few amount of people. Oh. Hi, I'm Jennifer Maxwell, and I'm a connection strategist helping coaches and creatives increase their influence, impact, and income using great deep relationships so you can build that rapport and close the sales. Let's talk about personalities here. Did you know that those that believe that sales is a numbers game are the types of people that actually aren't able to really connect with the clients they're speaking with? Therefore, they need to have a lot of meetings in order to close a smaller amount. So let's break down the personality profiles using the disc chart, and we're going to talk about how much of the population lives in each quadrant so you can really understand what we're talking about here. So there are 4 quadrants, and this has been around since Hippocrates. In fact, he created it. Marston took it a step further and created the 4 humors and the 4 temperaments, and we just kept refining it. And now we've seen it in Commedia dell'arte. We see it on everyday sitcoms. When Kramer walks into the room, you know what you're getting. Therefore, these types of archetypes, they exist in the world already. So it's not new. Let's just give ourselves a framework to hang this information on so we can really start nailing both the rapport and the sales we're looking to have in our businesses. Let's be fair, we're all a blend of all 4 personality traits, but let's just talk about how many reside in each of the quadrants. And I'm going to put up a graph here where you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If you're outgoing and task focused, think Gordon Ramsay, Kevin O'Leary is a great example from Shark Tank or Dragon's Den. Where's my money? There's no crying in business. What's the bottom line? How am I going to make money? That's somebody who's very direct. That's a D personality. They are task focused and they're less interested in the emotion of things. They just want to know if they can get their goals and results they're looking for. That makes up just 10% of the population. Here's the thing we find out though. Most of those people are actually in the online marketing space tend to fall in that category, the D or the DI blend. So they have a very particular way of doing sales. And if you're not that way, you may find it difficult to continue those sales conversations because it doesn't resonate with who you are. And there's a reason for that, because they speak words and a language in a different way. And if you're drawn into that, it's probably because you resonate with that language. However, that is just 10% of the population. And here's a little kicker. It's possible that they are offending 90% of the rest of the population. Oh, because 90% is the rest of the world, right? So let's continue to break down. The I personalities are the outgoing but people side. Typically, they're entertainers, they're very impressive, they're interested in a lot of things, they have a lot of gestures, they're really excitable, and they have a lot of energy. So again, typically some sort of entertainer or in the entertainment industry. And they make up about 30% of the population. So if you're speaking to a high I personality, you need to speak in their language in order to close those sales. Moving down to our reserved personalities, which are still people-focused, that is our S quadrant, and they are the supportive type. Think of Mr. Rogers or Lady Diana, like the nicest people, right? Good heart, they will take the shirt off their back, they believe everything should be fair, dependable, and honest. Everybody should be equal. So if you're not speaking the language of an S person, you'll have a hard time closing them. And they make up about 35% of the population. In fact, it is the largest group. So if you're not in that group, it's critical that you learn that language for the S personality if you're going to sell to them and close those deals. Okay, moving down to our reserved and task-focused people are the high C's, and they are critical thinking. They are compliant people. They have what we like to call big brain. That's what my kids call it. So they're like rocket scientists, brain surgeons, plastic surgeons. They have an ability to hold a lot of information in detail in their mind. So they're critical thinking. They ask they need facts. They ask why a lot, and you have to have your facts and figures or they're not going to buy. They're not interested in, intuition or whatever. They want to see facts and figures, and they make up about 25% of the population. So if you're not speaking facts and figures to this particular group of people, you're not going to sell them or close them. So that is the quick breakdown today. It's critical to know where you are and naturally understand that you're going to speak that language, and that's probably who you're going to attract because you naturally speak that language. So depending on which part of the population you fall into, that is likely the amount of return or results you're going to get for the sales numbers you think you have to get. Sales is not a numbers game if you know how to speak the language for each of the quadrants. In fact, using this simple process, I learned to have a 90% closing rate with six-figure clients and no formal sales training, simply by understanding which person I was talking to, which quadrant they most lived into or what they were exhibiting at that moment, speaking that language, I'm entering their world, and giving them the results they're looking for based on the language that computes to them. So that's the takeaway today. Learn the language, and sales does not need to be a numbers game. In fact, you can have less meetings, close more sales, and be more successful in your business and life. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Take care.